2,000 years ago, this was not a city. It was marshland. Cold wind moved across wet ground. The river Thames curved through mud and reeds. No bridges, no skyline, no roads. Just land. Waiting. Around 50 AD, the Romans arrived. They didn't see wilderness. They saw position. They built a wooden bridge. They built defensive walls. They built Londinium, a trading post at the edge of an empire. Within decades, it became one of Roman Britain's largest settlements. Warehouses lined the river. Merchants moved grain, wine, metals. Roads connected it to the rest of the island. And then, Rome collapsed. Trade stopped. Population dropped. Buildings decayed. For nearly 2 centuries, London shrank into shadow. But geography doesn't disappear. The river was still there. The location was still strategic. So the city rose again. By the medieval era, London was dense and chaotic. Timber houses leaned so close across streets they nearly touched. Markets overflowed with noise. The Thames carried everything: fish, goods, waste, people. By 1300, London was already one of Europe's largest cities. But it was fragile. In 1666, the Great Fire destroyed over 13,000 houses. 80% of the city center burned. Imagine that. 4 days. Centuries erased. Yet that fire changed everything. Brick replaced timber. Urban planning became deliberate. Insurance systems emerged. Building regulations strengthened. Disaster forced modernization. Then came something bigger, the Industrial Revolution. By the early 1800s, London exploded in size. Factories rose. Steam engines roared. Railways cut through neighborhoods. The population passed 1 million, then 2, then 3. By 1900, London was the largest city in the world. The Thames became the busiest port on Earth. But growth had a cost. Pollution thickened the air. In 1858, the Great Stink became so severe that Parliament had to suspend sessions because of the smell from the river. That crisis led to one of the most advanced sewer systems of its time. Again, disaster drove innovation. The Victorian era engineered embankments, built underground rail, expanded infrastructure. London wasn't just growing, it was engineering itself. Then came the 20th century. War. During the Blitz, over 1 million homes were damaged or destroyed. Entire districts vanished. And yet, rebuilding began immediately. Concrete blocks rose where ruins stood. Modernist architecture replaced Victorian density. Highways carved through history. The skyline stayed relatively low, but beneath it, a shift was forming. Finance. By the late 20th century, London reinvented itself again, this time as a global financial capital. Glass towers rose in the city. Canary Wharf emerged from former docklands. The economy transformed from industrial to financial. Steel replaced brick. Reflection replaced smoke. And the skyline began to climb. At the turn of the millennium, London changed again. The London Eye rose above the Thames, a symbol that the city was no longer rebuilding, it was redefining itself. Then came the Shard, over 300 meters tall, the tallest building in the United Kingdom. A statement that London was no longer afraid of height. But this transformation wasn't just architectural, it was economic. By the early 2000s, London became one of the most influential financial hubs in the world. More foreign banks operated here than in any other city. Billions moved through digital systems every second. The docks that once loaded coal now processed capital. Yet even modern London faced pressure. Congestion, housing shortages, pollution, climate risk. The Thames barrier, built to prevent catastrophic flooding, became a reminder that the city was not just growing vertically, it was fighting the future. And so the next transformation began. Sustainability. Rooftop gardens multiplied, green walls climbed glass towers, electric buses replaced diesel fleets. Ultra-low emission zones reshaped transport. The Thames, once declared biologically dead in the 1950s, now supports over 100 species of fish. That alone tells you something. Cities can recover. By the 2030s and 2040s, vertical efficiency becomes essential. Land is limited, demand is not. Mid-rise districts compress into denser clusters. Mixed-use skyscrapers combine living, working, and recreation in single vertical ecosystems. Infrastructure becomes layered. Trains run underground. Cyclists dominate street level. Autonomous vehicles organize traffic above traditional lanes. The skyline thickens, not randomly, strategically. Sky bridges connect towers. Elevated transit corridors reduce ground congestion. Energy flows from solar-integrated glass and decentralized grids. By mid-century, London is no longer just expanding, it is optimizing. And then, look further, toward the year 2100. Climate adaptation reshapes architecture, flood-resistant foundations, floating platforms along the river, advanced materials that regulate temperature and energy. Urban heat islands shrink as greenery expands. The city breathes differently. Now imagine 2200. Aerial mobility is no longer experimental. Autonomous craft move along regulated sky lanes. Freight drones replace trucks for inner-city logistics. The Thames hosts silent electric vessels guided by AI navigation systems. Movement becomes seamless. Then 2300. The same river bend that once held marshland now supports a hyper-vertical megacity. Clusters of organic megatowers curve into the skyline. Solar glass reflects light in controlled brilliance. Vertical forests integrate food production into architecture. The Palace of Westminster remains, historic stone surrounded by structures once unimaginable. Past and future coexist in a single frame. Air traffic is structured, not chaotic. Energy is generated locally. Water systems recycle endlessly. The city is no longer reacting to crisis. It anticipates it. But here is the truth. Every era believed it was final. The Romans believed in permanence. Victorians believed in industry. The 20th century believed in concrete. The 21st believes in glass and sustainability. And each time, the city changed again. London has burned. It has flooded. It has industrialized. It has digitized. It has rebuilt itself more times than most civilizations survive. Build, destroy, rebuild, evolve. That pattern has never stopped. 2,000 years ago, this was mud and wind. Today, it is one of the most influential urban systems on Earth. In 2030, it may be something we cannot fully predict. But one thing will remain constant. The river will still curve through the land, and humans will still build.